Hi, my name is Patrick Wururibe and I'm the CEO at Util, and I'm going to take the next 5 minutes to tell you about what we do. In short, we use natural language processing and machine learning to produce the world's most comprehensive, detailed, and objective dataset measuring the impact of companies on their stakeholders and the world. You're probably aware of how important environmental, social, and governance topics, or ESG for short, have become. Util goes significantly further. It's no exaggeration to say that ESG is the single most important issue in asset management today. Over just the next 4 years, $30 trillion is projected to flow into investments labeled as ESG, making up almost two-thirds of the world's total AUM by 2025. And yet, what counts as good or bad in ESG is still basically a matter of opinion. Usable data doesn't cover that many companies, and when it does, it only does it in very basic categories. This is where Util comes in. Our objective data, greater coverage, greater detail allow investors to mitigate the greenwashing risks, the regulatory risks, and reputational risks that come from using flawed data. And on top of that, there's the opportunity of attracting and retaining assets with more sophisticated, more differentiated, and refined products. Our market is the asset managers competing for those $30 trillion of flows aligned to their investors' values. Whether they are large or small firms, our data will help them exercise more informed judgment and compete at a higher level. Util's data sets a higher standard in three key ways. First, we don't look at what companies claim about themselves or what they promise. We start by looking at the revenues they generate from what they sell. This gives us a really concrete metric that's tied to the fundamental business rather than the company's PR department. Second, we have the only completely automated process for gathering and measuring evidence, which gets us as close as anyone can get to complete objectivity. We use, as I mentioned, machine learning to read over 120 million academic and scientific journal articles and aggregate the results that we find in them. All of those sources are peer-reviewed, so instead of relying on any one opinion, we are actually sourcing the combined wisdom of the world's communities of experts. And third, we capture real-world trade-offs rather than blunt categories. We map multiple outcomes at once, so if something is good for your health but bad for the environment, like a disinfectant or a detergent, we capture both of those impacts. The result of this is a dataset that uniquely brings together three things. It's objective. Our peer-reviewed academic papers are literally the collective work of the world's finest minds in every discipline. It's comprehensive. We cover 45,000 companies. That's every listed company in the world. We also cover 6,000 ETFs. And last but not least, it's detailed. We offer hundreds of data points per company, covering positive and negative alignments for over 2,000 sustainability themes, including the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. We have metrics for 12,000 products and adjustments for 240 locations around the world. We have simplified metrics for those who want a quick view, and we have deeper metrics for those who need more. There are other providers who are offering something similar, particularly around the UN SDGs. None, however, has reached our level of automation, scale, or of granular detail. I'm going to briefly show some graphics from an internal tool we use so I can show you what our data looks like when it's visualized. This is the analytics page for Apple. You can see the visualization of the 17 SDGs on the left, with both positives, for instance, in education at SDG 4, and negatives in climate action SDG 13. Here on the right-hand side is a smaller set of concentric circles with our summary quick metrics, where you can see Apple's positive in most domains come with some environmental negatives. This makes sense given the ways we know these devices improve access to information about the world or about our health, and what we know about the materials that go into them and how hard they are to dispose of. Incidentally, Refinitiv gives Apple a score of 73, and it ranks 12th of all companies in its industry. S&P gives it a miserable 29 out of 100 and ranks it third from the bottom in its industry. And MSCI gives it an average BBB rating. What you get depends only on who you ask. That's pretty precarious if you want to secure the trust and assets of investors. What all this means is that our dataset serves a variety of really valuable use cases across domains of financial institutions. We help asset managers report on existing funds, build new differentiated funds, and engage with companies to foster change. We help financial advisors put together model portfolios with specific sustainable goals in mind. We help individual retail investors understand both the value and the impact of their trading choices. And we can help insurers understand sustainability risks. This all puts us in a great position not just to help the ESG specialists in the market, but rather to bring comprehensive, evidence-driven data to every kind of investor in a consistent way that helps them to make more informed choices about what effect their money has on the world. We're planning to raise a Series A in the near future, so if you're interested in investing in Util or in using our data, please get in touch. Thanks for listening.